I gotta. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, MT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host,
Mikey Fever.
And this is a New Yorker's Perspective. Today, we're talking about the benefits of Freemasonry. Before we go into that, I wanted to continue on saying what I was saying. You brothers got to see, if y'all could come to my place, this whole place is decked out with like electronics. Like, I got buttons it looked like a studio in here. Anyway, man, you gotta check this place out. But to go into it, Freemasonry, the benefits of Freemasonry. First off, thank you, brothers, for showing up. I really appreciate you. We got two. We got. I'm gonna say we got 3 Masons in the building. We got 3 Masons in the building. Mike always says I'm still a Mason because you know I went into the apprentice, and then I went back. I turned back around and I went back out.
So you never knocked on so you never knocked on the doors.
I know. I went in. I got my into the apprentice, catechism. I did all of that. Yeah.
You were raised?
No.
Nah, he wasn't raised.
No.
Okay, so no, you never entered.
Okay.
You were still in the chamber.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
Neophyte.
Yeah.
Into the princess.
So I'm gonna say technically we have 3 Masons on the podcast, right? And we have.
Don't say that, Ron. You know, I'm gonna bring some humor for those who are watching. They're gonna be like the sellouts, the one that holds back the black community. Oh my, they Illuminati. You hear the code words that they're using.
Exactly.
Oh, they speaking on code. Go suck your mother.
So now as far as martial arts is concerned, we got 3 martial artists in here as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got
my protection, my bodyguards.
Man, this right here, as far as martial arts is concerned, is ill. We gotta definitely do a martial arts podcast, but we're sticking with Masonry. We're sticking with Freemasonry. We're talking about the benefits. My first question to you is, I'm gonna start off with Mike. What are the benefits of Masonry?
The benefits of Masonry, just like any other fraternal order or school of thoughts, is that you amongst brothers, amongst a group of men with who are on the same agenda of doing great, of becoming better people, of working on their struggles to turn into their strengths. Networking.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
That was thorough.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I
riding goats.
I have to add a disclaimer to that. Mikey Fever, I gotta tell you, I miss you. I know you've been busy. You always look on the fly to me. It's always a blessing to see all of you together.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been traveling. When people say Masonry, people say, how long you've been traveling, right? I come from a long lineage of Masonry. My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. But being an activist, I stress strenuously, I don't think all Masons are on the level. Mm-hmm. And I don't think all Masons are building on the level.
Beautiful.
So with that being said, I think an active Mason is different than being a dormant Mason.
Mm.
I just want to add that out there.
That's deep right there.
Okay. Brother Sharif, the benefits of Masonry?
Character building. straight like that. Character building, learning. For me, well, just on the primary levels, it's a school of school of morality, right? Veiled in allegory, revealed in symbol.
That's it.
And what? But now, why revealed in symbol? Why can't you just say it plainly? Because you got to put some work in. That's why.
Exactly.
Because you got to put some work in. You got to develop. That's why. You got to put work in. The general allegory of being a builder alludes to exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to the work site and chill and sit in a chair and point your finger and say, give me this and give me that. That's not how it works.
No.
You pick up your working tools of your profession and you get to work. And then you make sure that your work is approved.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you have to be able to submit to getting checked.
Mm.
If your work does not need approval,
Yeah.
it goes in the rubbish heap. And you have demonstrated that you have not developed sufficient proficiency.
Mm. Can you expound on that?
Damn, Reef. Beautiful, Reef.
Hold on,
Reef just took us through everything.
Before he expounds on that, I was at a truck stop. I was at a bus stop, and these young brothers had their pants. I don't do the pants sagging thing, and I'm not into all that.
Right.
But I asked them, "What's your next step in life?" And they looked at me and says, "What, OG?" I said, "What's your next step in life? Where are you going from here?" And they're like, "Oh shit, the old man's gonna try to drop some knowledge on me. I got things going on." I said so. Basically, what Sharif just said, I checked them. They didn't have to stay as being human beings. They are submitting to approval. I hope to be the man that says that's a good way to go, because maybe they don't have a direction.
Right.
Maybe they never thought about submitting themselves for a direction or approval. So I want to say, as a Mason, I am going to check people whether they think they submitted or not. And that's I'm gonna let Sharif answer. What does that mean to be checked and to submit it for approval?
Well, I have to, again, the being checked thing is developing submission to account, and to be accountable. To be accountable.
Exactly.
It's accountability. One of the things that we see in today's society, which is absolutely detrimental to our society, is the whole everybody wins. Give everybody a reward. Doesn't matter their level of work. Everybody wins. That's not how the world works.
Exactly. They even give them a bronze.
And you do not. I'll just put it like this: when it comes to your children or yourself, and you have to have brain surgery, you want a brain surgeon at the head of your, handling your operation that just got an award just because they participated? No, you want one that has demonstrated sufficient proficiency, don't you?
Exactly.
See, you want one that's demonstrated sufficient proficiency. Simple. You see? So, in general, one of the things that stands out to me about the craft is that it's an institution. Now, we're not now to the good doctor's point. Human weakness is human weakness. No matter where you go, there it is.
Exactly.
All right, so let's just get that out of the way. So we're talking about the institution, not the people in it. The institution itself promotes the principles of manhood. and manhood, sacrifice, and accountability.
That's right. Amen.
You see what I'm saying? And making something out of nothing.
Tell them. And for those who practice the craft, you know that's in your catechism. That's one of the furnitures you walk and you see. You're not even go any further. But to add on to what Reef and the doctor are saying, it's about accountability, and there's human weaknesses will always be there because symbolically, with those who know the craft, you know when you walk in, what you're stepping on.
Come on.
Life comes in ebbs and flows.
Come on.
You know that tracing board will tell you what it's about.
That's right.
So it's like the work. It's even like, you know, people say they deal with their inner demons and their weaknesses. Eliminate that. You gotta say, I'm dealing with my struggle, because every day is a battle, even within this craft. In any school of thoughts, you know, down to Catechism of Masonry. When you're reading that, even into this 120, when they're reading their lessons, you see that you're constantly dealing with that, what we call that modern day Negro, that you have to eliminate.
There you go.
You know,
and you made a good that was really a good analogy. You know, to with the Fobson Nation. You know, that's it. The Fobson Nation. There's a culture. The culture is you know, show and prove culture. Okay, you said it. Now let me see. Show and prove. You know what I mean. That's in the Bible. That's 2 Timothy 2:15. Right, which relates to the craft, where it says, show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. In other words, can you stand by your work?
Can you? Hold on. Can you? Not will you?
Right.
There's a whole different thing. Not will you, because you can falsify anything because you're a fool.
How about that?
But can you stand by your work?
Can you stand by it?
Because a fool will stand by their work.
Because they hope that you don't check them. They're playing the bluff game. Because they're playing the bluff game. They're hoping you don't go through and check them. That's right.
Now, Dr. Paul Dyer, my question to you is the benefits of Masonry. You didn't say anything about. We didn't go to you, right? We just went to Brother Mike Sharif.
No.
The benefits of Masonry.
Well, no, and I just kept interjecting because I'm so excited about when we start talking about Masonry, and I am, because I love my father, I love my grandfather. I understood. I remember when I got raised, and I was telling my mother I was going through, and she was like, "Okay." That's all she said. And when I got raised in a different country. I was actually in Hawaii when I got raised. My mother flew out with my grandfather's ring, his blue house ring. The one she could have buried him with. And she gave it to me.
Honorable. A lot of power behind that.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of power. Now, but go ahead, answer my question. So that's why I'm very passionate, because I stand by making good men better, having a good direction, and being checked. Because my father checked me, my grandfather checked me. I had many seniors who will always check me. And anything I'll ever do, I will always submit. Even as a neuroscientist, I'm going to submit my papers to be checked as a research paper, so it could quantify and qualify what I'm thinking. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Now the benefits of Masonry.
You know, Mr. Sharif said something that was built in allegory. But there's a science in it, and the science in it is I'll make it short. When you knock on those 3 doors, when you knock, you're really knocking on those glands that are in your brain to open up. When you knock, you're asking for your brain to open up to the higher self of being.
Yeah.
And until you understand what doors you're going through and what higher level you moving to, then you stay the slave. You can stay the robber. You can stay buried.
Damn.
That's beautiful. And you know what, Reef? I know you cool on what he's saying, right, Reef? There's a lot. There's a lot that he's damn, bro. I would. You know what? Those who know.
It sounded to me like blind, deaf, and dumb. The dead.
But brother Ron, see, that's the beauty. See, you know, we have a saying in the Moorish signs symbol of America: signs and symbols are for the conscious mind and for men of understanding.
Right.
So you just pierce the veil of the allegory because you have a comparable teaching. Nobody has a monopoly on truth. We just have different ways of expressing it.
Bingo. And what he said with the knocking on the three doors, right, of reaching your higher self, just like any other school of thought says, the benefit is know thyself.
Right.
That's all it is. Man, know thyself. It's just veil and allegory.
Right.
Symbols. You know, a lot of readings required. And for me, the benefits of Masonry, for me, honestly, is that I always been a patient person, but it made me more patient, more centered, more down to earth, you know, slow to anger. You know, I'm working on the patience because, you know, I don't have patience for ignorance. I really don't. But, you know, I think that's a Sagittarius in me.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Sagittarius. We don't have the patience.
Sad season.
It's the season, yeah. But it's just that, you know, it makes you more centered. And then, as they say, you have brothers that's going to check you. They're going to check your work.
Yes.
You know, they want to know if you really putting that time in. Yeah. Are you really working on that rough ashlar to make it fine and perfect?
Come on, brother.
Are you chipping, you know?
Yeah.
That's basically it, man. Or would you be that stone that the builder refused?
There you go. There you go. I like what you just said, brother. I also like what the doc said about, like, if you're truly knocking and where you're truly knocking. You know what I'm saying? How did, like when you get, like, if you're getting checked, it's one of the first questions you're asked. Where were you first made? We have the answer. The answer is the same thing we say, Brother Ron, in the Moorish Science Temple of America, in our questionnaire, question number 4. Where's the nearest place you can meet him? See?
Yep.
That's really a testament to sincerity.
That's all.
It's a testament to sincerity, you know? Yeah.
Now, to take it back to Dr. Paul Dyer, when you said that the knocking opens up something in your brain, I forgot the terminology you use, but
go ahead. Finish your question.
So what parts of the brain are you speaking of?
The glands. You have the pituitary, you have the pineal gland, you have the hypothalamus gland. Those are the 3 doors. Those are the 3 doors you have to open.
Now, okay, hold on. See, Michael somebody just did that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta say this. I don't disagree. I agree 100%. But that being said, to quote our good brother, Manly P. Hall, there's people that have 33 degrees on paper that never got past EA.
Talk about it.
Tell me.
Talk about it.
They never got past the first degree.
Yep.
But they got 33
Never.
of them on paper, though.
Mm-hmm.
On paper.
On paper.
And let's keep it
Another
real, Reef.
jurisdiction, they might have 97.
But when you speak about martial arts, I also hear a super grandmaster too.
Yeah.
I also heard of a 12th degree on paper.
Right, exactly. They're on paper. They got more stripes than they got belt. You know what I'm saying?
Can't even do a proper march. And they can't even do a proper march.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Can't hold a fist properly, but got, you know, the belt looks like train tracks. All this, you know. Anyway, you know, that's important right there. But it goes back to what I said about human weakness. What you have is you may have a lot of unscrupulous individuals in the institution of Freemasonry.
That's right.
But do not blame the institution for human weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same human weakness you find in the institution in various lodges all over the world, you find in the church every Sunday.
Amen.
You find in the masjid. You find in the tabernacle. You find in the... Come on, people.
Yeah.
Human weakness is the devil.
And the ones you find, you said unscrupulous and who are acting on a lower level, that brother just went out of bounds.
Of course.
For those who know, he's within the confines, but he's just out of bounds.
Here, follow me on this. Mm-hmm. Nobody is in the least bit fooled by the hood-wearing KKK guy that says that he's a Christian knight. Nobody says, "Oh my God, we got to condemn the church because he's hood-wearing hooligans." Nobody says that.
Sounds like Albert Pike to me. You know, intelligent man, but you know what I'm saying? He had that weakness. He was up there, but he had that weakness.
But he had that weakness, didn't he?
He was up there, and he had that humanist weakness.
Yeah, that weakness. See? So we're talking about the institution, not the people, not certain people in it. You know? Let's be real, because if we want to demonize the institution because of certain people, then that means we got to demonize every single institution on the face of the planet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we don't want. Yeah, and that's not it. And that's never the issue. You know, even the Order of the Rose, we don't ever want to do anything because of whatever orders or whatever all factions that comes upon of the knowledge, right? I was told this by one of my greatest seniors who passed away, who I was afraid to teach the science of martial arts because of how beautiful and deadly it is. Mm-hmm. And one of my senior teachers said, that is not your worry. Your worry is not to know what evil comes from your teaching, because I was always you have to put those evil people down. Like I've been fortunate enough to only have 2 students to go rogue, and you have to get a hold of them and to weed your garden. But there are other people out there that just goes rogue on some good teachings, and you still have to be steadfast and the true teachings of the truth, so it gets passed down truthfully. That's why you always say, you know.
What does this brother mean by that? Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It happens because we speak on human weaknesses, and you know, even on the esoteric level of mysticism, as beloved souls below, you know, things happen in both spaces.
Right.
You know, so until you center it, you know, it's all one until you get a good center on it.
That's fact.
And for those who know, that's what your compass is about.
And again, remember, we're talking about an institution that demands labor.
Exactly.
It demands labor. So when it comes to actual genuine work and labor, there's no faking. We could tell. We can tell the fakers. You see what I'm saying? You can tell who's actually putting in the work, because okay, how can you tell, right? It's just like the Buddhists that, the people in the West that are enamored with Eastern stuff. Oh, I want to be Buddhist, because you just want to look like one and you want to sound like one. And then, but they make this thing of enlightenment or nirvana like some mystical, magical thing where they're going to float on a blue cloud and see Buddha. You know what I'm saying? Enlightenment is practical. It's you are going through the same foolery in life that everybody else goes through. You just handle it with uncommon grace.
Thank you. It's how you respond. It's not how
You
you
see what I'm
react.
saying? To the point where people go, yo, what you on, man? I see you go through some things, but you always got a smile on your face. You labor cheerfully. You labor cheerfully. I got to figure out what you're doing. What is that person doing when they ask that question?
Not, ooh. Tell him. Yo, that's so true.
See?
It's so true. It's so true.
That's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
And this,
That's
and
what
it's,
they're doing.
I just want to say this real quick. I don't want to interrupt your flow.
Yeah.
But I want to say this right. I want to put this out here. This is a question that I think maybe answer. I mean, what do you think?
I can answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I can answer that. He's Agent Smith of the Matrix, right?
With a Diddy photo. Hold on, bro. Yo,
Woo.
I didn't know that was a Diddy photo.
Right?
No, no.
Yo. Anyway,
Yo.
that's like me asking Brother Ron right now. Brother Ron is my brother. We close, right? All right, Brother Ron, email me your bank name and account number.
Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Wow, bro.
Right. I think that puts the proper perspective on that, doesn't it?
Okay.
But now, Brother Ron's like, no. Then I said, oh, you're holding stuff back on me. I'm your brother. You're holding back. You keeping secrets. You're oppressing me because you won't give me that information.
Exactly.
Now, how foolish does that sound?
And a lot of them,
But all I had
do
to do
that.
was say, Brother Ron, can you loan me $50? Brother Ron can definitely help me and uplift me without giving me his bank account info.
Right.
Amen.
But I also don't have to clarify or verify my answer if I'm your brother.
How about that, brother? How about
like whether I say yes or no,
right?
There is no. If I say no, what do you mean? If you are my brother, my no, you understand. If you are my brother,
come on,
my yes, you understand.
Right.
It is not a burden, yay or nay,
right.
But you understand my answer because you're my brother.
There you go.
That's it. That's it.
You see what I mean? And so, like, Brother Sharif, I spent 2.5 years in a Buddhist monastery in China.
Nice.
I did 6 months in silence.
Wow.
To heal my obligation of death that I thought I took as an oath. My oath was not to death, it was to service to the American people as a whole. What I did on that is what I did. And I had to understand my personal clarity of understanding that. So we have to understand when you ask us as Masonic people or people who have taken oaths, we take oaths in purity.
Straight up.
And the purity form has nothing to do, like what Brother Shreve says, has nothing to do with human negligence.
Right.
I took an oath to the American people, United States of America. Now, if said people want to corrupt my ability to serve and to ask me to do other things, that's discernment. Whether I do or don't, or will I won't. But it has nothing to do with my oath. And whether my oath is cut short.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Got you.
There's now when it comes to the oath taking thing, because that's a big boogeyman, right, with a lot of people. Like we say in the Moorish Science Symbol of America, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, if one is honest and just, oaths are unnecessary. I get it. But we got to properly contextualize that statement, right? That statement is predicated on Brother Ron or the doctor or Brother Mikey Fever relying upon my word.
Period.
That's what it means. See? Oaths are unnecessary if I'm honest. Correct. But that's not what we're talking about here.
No.
Here's what we're talking about in the deeper sense when we're talking about not revealing any of the parts or the secrets of Freemasonry. Here's what we're talking about on the deeper level. Shout out again to Manly P. Hall on this. Brother Ron, you're a fitness trainer, right?
Yes, sir.
Brother, loan me your fitness, please. Let me borrow your fitness, sir.
I don't know.
How would we answer that, Brother Mikey and Doctor? I did not so receive it.
Yep.
Neither can I so impart it.
Yep.
Come on.
Basically, yo.
You can't give up the secrets. It's impossible.
I forever consider never to reveal, my man. Listen,
There you go.
I die with that, and I'm gonna live by that because they don't understand the power behind that too.
Yes, he can't give it. Brother Ron can't be like, yeah, no problem. Here you go. Here's my fitness. He can't do that. See, you know what they think? They think signs, grips, passes, and tokens are the secrets.
No.
Go to Google.
No. Go to Google. Yeah, Google will give you that. And you're gonna come to me with a Google question in the street, and I'm gonna laugh at you. Because there's times my lady sometimes, my wife, she be playing. She like, so yo, when y'all be talking, and I be seeing certain things. So what does that mean?
Right.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, whatever you say that means, yeah, that's what it means. She was like, you're lying. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You asked me a question I don't know. Because you know what? You're not speaking my language. I said, I don't know what you.
And the presumption is, oh, you belong to some shadowy secret. So everything you're doing is a secret and da 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 da. No. What people think of the secrets are trinkets.
Thank you.
Now, real quick, I want you to we're going back to Diddy. What up, Diddy? Diddy is back in the building. Diddy got a question.
Take that.
I'll take the question. My understanding is that the prophet brought the secrets out of clandestine. Well, I think what he meant by that is out in the open, so that we don't go. No, that's not quite true, dear brother, and I'm going to tell you why. So now there's people that believe that. I'm going to tell you why. In the Moorish science, in the Moorish Guide newspaper during the time of the prophet, we're talking 1928, there was an article published in the Moorish Guide newspaper about moving the prophet's home office to Unity Hall. Unity Hall was a community center. And they talked about the logic and the genius of him doing so, because Unity Hall held offices for every civic, political, social, business, and fraternal organization in the city. So who was he working with? You want to know? Oh, you got. So who were the people he was working with? One of the businesses that the prophet helped to start was the Moorish cafeteria service. In the Moorish Guide newspaper, it talked about how they worked for the Elks and did dinners for the Elks and other fraternal organizations. When the prophet passed in 1929, where was his funeral service held? Where was the second annual convention held? See, the Knights of Pythias, Pythian Hall. That's where. See? So what he was saying now, there's a part of what you're saying, brother, I can agree with. Follow me. Remember earlier in this conversation, the brothers spoke to something, right? About your work being approved, right? And brother Ron spoke to it about, yeah, it sounds like show and prove. Yeah. In other words, Freemasonry is not the only school that carries these principles.
Yeah, because it sounded to me like what I hear y'all quote certain stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, damn, that sounds like 120. Like part
There
two.
you go. Come on. Okay, follow me, right? I don't think the good doctors heard this, but I think Brother Mikey definitely has, right? Matter of fact, I can quote it, but I don't want to mess up one word. So I'm just gonna read it. This is a religious text, right? All right. Here we go. One day, as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, Jesus, at age 12, these tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character.
And what you said, age 12 again, right?
Eddie, right.
Wow, that sounds like...
We use the square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way and make the corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw circles around our passions and desires and keep them in the bounds of righteousness.
Damn, yo. So what am I gonna do? I'm burying my virtues? That's what you telling me?
Okay, so my point, dear brother, was it the brother
Diddy?
Okay, right. So my point, thank you. My point is these principles are easily taught in other organizations, not just Freemasonry. So did I just reveal Masonic secrets by reading that? Exactly. But can every Mason on the planet easily and readily relate?
That's a fact.
That was.
I want to interject something. So I study warriors and people and history, and Khalid al-Awad, who was one of the greatest warriors that this world has ever seen, and he fought for Islam. And his thoughts were to bring Islam into what you call 2.0, because they realized that the Prophet had said that he wanted to bring back Muslim and Judaism back together, and he didn't want another Abrahamic religion. But what Khalid had to do was fight to bring people to an understanding that it wasn't just his way was better, is that his way deserved to be heard. And people misunderstood that, saying that he was fighting for religion. He wasn't fighting for religion. He was fighting for humanity. And in the teachings of Islam, it's about humanity and people and livelihoods. And if you miss that, you can go off into any hysteric, and I mean hysterical, not higher level thinking, but hysterical thinking that it's all about a certain situation needs to be dealt with in a certain way. and you'll be wrong every time. Because this is about consciousness. And leveling your consciousness into understanding how this is playing a part of your brain, the chemistry, and all the hormonal levels that is playing part of your body, and what you're reading, what your intake is, what your outtake is, what your pineal gland is, and what your reception is. If you're not understanding that, you are just chaos. And if you're chaos, you are destructive, no matter what you're trying to follow.
Exactly.
So,
Very beautiful.
So when you are joining a group of people who are trying to do the best of the best and to be better of better, and not joining men who are trying to bolster themselves, you're going to find the light. You're going to find the oil seeping down your vertebrae. You're going to find that 33rd, which is meaning it is the 33rd, meaning it is your spinal cord that sends a signal up to the higher power.
Talk about it.
You're going to find it. Not because of what you see other people do, because you're putting in the work to do it. That's all.
He said what he said was so profound. To add on to what the benefits are of Masonry, as Reeve said, all these school of thoughts provide you with the tools, right? But some people chose different paths. For me, for Masonry, is when I'm amongst my brothers, I'm hearing how far they came along their plight. Me taking the tools through the literature, reading it and applying them in my life in certain areas to a point where I know I live in a capitalistic society, but what matters most is my character, who I am.
Come on, bro.
Learning your flaws, facing your flaws in the mirror.
Yes.
You understand? Not lying to yourself.
Right.
And just proceed. And most importantly, it's forgiving yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
if you follow if you follow the Hiram tale,
wow,
you see it's about forgiving yourself, man.
That's big. That's see, brother Mikey, and a lot of people. Again, our people have been for so long out of power, or lacking power, or feeling like we lack power, feeling powerless over our own circumstances, that we have this childish, vengeful feeling for anybody we believe has a secret over us or has some knowledge that we don't have. So so all of a sudden they become the boogeyman. And it's always easy to point at somebody else and call them the boogeyman.
That's the slave mind.
Yeah.
When we talk about the indoctrination of a Negro, that is the slave mind. That is the Negro mind. That is the depleted mind. That's why when Masonic temples and rituals came about, we tried to open up your mind to the freedom that's beyond you. And that's still tough. We read the Negro stories. We heard about Harriet Tubman, how many people she had to kill because they weren't ready to be free.
That's a fact.
That's is it scary or is it subjectable to being realistic to who you are? Ask yourself, if Harriet asked you, are you ready to be free? What would you say? But are you willing to do the work? Let's go back to the Masonic work. Are you willing to put in the work? Not put on the apron. Not to say and pay your dues and all this other stuff, but to put in the work. Are you ready to be free? The answer to majority of you, the answer is no. You want to say yes, you would like to say yes, you think you work to say yes, but the answer is no. And if you can clarify why your answer is yes, I would say you text message or email the show and tell us why your answer is yes, but I bet you give me 5 answers why your friends or 5 best friends his answers are no. Because I know the statistics.
That's so true. That is so true.
What do you say? That's the majority of people.
It is. It's high. It is, yes. So the answer is yes. When we say majority is over 50%, so the answer is yes. And if you doubt me, look who voted for who. Look who voted for who. That's a mic dropper right there.
Wow.
You know, as a quick side note, I was watching Russian news earlier today, and Russian officials are elated over the election in the United States. They're elated, but you know why? They said, man, this administration is going to dismantle the United States with great speed. That's what they said. That's literally what they said. They said, "Oh yes, you know." Now something earlier that our good brother said about the prophet, and let me. I want to tighten my answer up a little bit. The prophet was reported to have said, "That's not necessary. That's not necessary, or that's not needed anymore now that I, your prophet, are here." Does that mean he was against the institution of Freemasonry? No, because he worked with them. It means that there's other schools that teach the same or similar principles, like the Moorish Science Temple of America. There you go. Now the question has to be asked, why are you here? You see what I'm saying? See, because now we know people join the crowd not to. Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
He can't.
They may say the words just to do my passions and improve myself. They may say those words, but you know what that's like? That's like, what's his face? I forgot the actor's name, but he played opposite of Denzel Washington in Training Day. And Denzel says, "So why you want to be a narc?" He says, "So I can rid my community of dangerous drugs." He goes, yeah, but why you want to be a narc? Yeah. See what I'm saying? He knew that was the nonsense. That's what everybody wants to hear. Mm-hmm. But we know that a lot of people are just joining Freemasonry, the Moorish Science Temple of America, or other groups so that they can pull something from it to make themselves feel powerful, or they're chasing what they believe to be power just by being adjacent to what they believe to be power. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They believe that,
or just try to put a light on their cars so they can feel like they have some respect.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it.
Like that. Or they think they can learn some funny sign and get out of paying child support.
And it's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Ask Dr. York that. He tried it in court.
There you go. Word. So when Prophet Drew Ali said that, allegedly, he's talking about the real purpose for belonging. If you're getting these principles, the institution of Freemasonry is part of the great program. The Moorish Science Temple of America is part of the great program. There you go.
Sharif, I want to add something to one of the benefits. It's not a benefit. It doesn't matter what it is. I was in London, and I was wearing one of my lights. It's a ring. I was wearing my grandfather's blue lodge ring, and this British gentleman. Men are different than gentlemen in England. If you don't know the difference, then I'm sorry for that. This gentleman came by and he saw my ring, and he invited me to his flat. We had it was a late lunch, tea, and everything. And that evening, he invited me to the lodge. It was one of the grand lodges in London.
Mm-hmm.
But great meeting, wonderful meeting. But after the lodge, he invited me to the catacombs,
Mm-hmm.
of where a lot of the books of the Masonic books that was kept from centuries were down there. I literally got down on my knees and just cried. I'm in catacombs with books stamped of historical principles of Masonic knowledge. This just started because I was sitting on a cafe that 10 o'clock a.m. That 10 p.m., I'm in catacombs reading books of Masonic knowledge because a person found me worthy of my words and who I am.
Beautiful. And you know, and to the people out there that are the conspiracy theorists out there, those who speak trying to mystify this whole thing, if you do your research and go deep into the origin of Masonry, not what we have as the mainstream to the North American shores, you see that it all came out of ancient Kemet, the mystery schools.
That's right.
So that's that you make a powerful point there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's especially with our people that still, you know, try to treat the institution of Freemasonry like it's the boogeyman. How you say your own stuff is that? You know, how do you look at your own stuff and say that that's not for you? You know, no, and I want to back up too about this oath thing, because again, people get stuck on the oath. What are we taking an oath in Freemasonry to do?
You want me to give the internet answer?
To demonstrate integrity, people. Okay. If I come to you and I'm like, you my brother, yeah, I'm your brother. Can I trust you with something?
Mm-hmm.
And you look at me like this and go, yeah, sure.
Give us the internet. Give us the internet answer, Ron. For these guys that was stuck watching those 2001.
But some people would say, before you go, Ron, some people are saying this, and we don't even respond when we hear this. Freemasonry is a Christian institution, and you're taking an oath to uphold the church and the. We won't even respond to that nonsense.
I got two words: Jack Demole, and go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, go sit down and read. But it's like, come on, guy. You know, come on. You know,
it is our people, because our people have this, like you said, it's a boogeyman to them, right? All right, Masonry is the boogeyman, just like they say about African spiritual practices such as voodoo and the Moors put our people in slavery and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you look at it, the European know more about the culture than you do. He studies you.
Come on.
He benefits off your culture.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
And before we leave, I do want to let you know that all the sciences that are built in Masonic is built on the sciences, is built on the Kemetic sciences, is built on the brain sciences, is built on the spinal, is built on hormonal, is built on signals and frequencies, masculinity and femininity, is built on creation of mind, is built on the revolution of learning of the mind. All that is in the allegory of the Masonic issues. Now, you can learn the allegory and you can learn the reference between the science. Like I said, the 33rd. This means spinals you have in your vertebrae in your spinal column. Mm-hmm. You could talk about the oils of what I'm not. If you're not one of us, then you don't know what the oil is. But the oil is what brings the one power to the higher power.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand the three knocks, you understand the three glands. It opens up the different channels to the spiritual room. What is your spiritual room? What is your God room? So all these are learned in lessons as you're learning the lessons.
Through the initiation. And
Well,
I want to add on to that.
also too, but let's be clear. Let's be clear. What you heard the good doctor just allude to, and some of the things that Brother Mikey has said during this whole thing, these types of things aren't taught in every lodge. Let's be real. It's just not. Okay? It's not. You know, it's not. So don't fool yourself into thinking that every lodge you go to is going to be revolving these high, lofty ideals and sciences.
Yeah.
No, it's a fraternity, people.
Yeah.
You get out of it what you put in.
Collective minds. And what does that form? Just to make it so simple, we have the Nation of Islam, 5% Nation, Hebrew Israelites, Moorish Science Temple of America, and other many groups.
Yeah.
For those who say, we use different terms, lexicons, collective minds, energy, group of brothers. If we go into the esoteric side, we could say a cult, that's an egregore being built of energy, like minds coming together, which creates a consciousness.
Yep.
Energy of that group, right?
That's right.
And that's all it is. Even, through Masonry, you go to initiate process. Just like when you get your 120, some brothers will say, fast for 3 days, right? Just water.
Just homework. When you said egregore.
Yeah, they have to, because that's all it is, man. It's to put you through that process.
But when you become a crip or blood, you just joined yourself to an egregore.
That's it. It's the consciousness of the group, an organism.
There you go. Here's the thing: whether you believe it or not, whether you recognize it or not,
you part.
Because thoughts are things.
That's it.
Thoughts are things in the craft of Freemasonry, and also, as I just read in chapter 5 of the Moorish Science Temple of America in our teaching, the physical tools are symbols. They're not the real tools.
But if you don't understand the symbols, the tools will elude you, and you will be falsified into your own practice.
Exactly. Tell him, man. Exactly. Tell him, man. We gotta get brother Ron. You gotta come back, brother Ron. You see, Ron we gotta pull Ron back, man.
Hey, listen, man. I got enough on my plate right now. Right now, I gotta master where I'm at. You know what I mean? Once I master where I am right now, then you know what I mean. I'll start working on it. You know what I mean?
I'll give some people some if people who are real seekers. I'll give you some reference material. Get the late James Wasserman's book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The Templars and the Assassins. He tells the truth. He says it flat out. And get my good friend Waleed Salhab's book.
Oh, wow.
Look what it says.
Yeah, sure. I see that.
Of course. It's all there. It's all there, because even down to the Shriners, when they put the Islam on their cap, and as many said, we're just custodians for the Moors. No disrespect to the craft, but when I hear the literature, I'm like, oh,
right.
That's what it's about. Like, the secret's about me, because
there would be an affinity.
Yeah.
In the modern time, if Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, come on, man. If George G.M. James said that the Moors are the custodians of ancient Egyptian culture and science, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that we're Moorish Americans and he's the founder of the Moorish movement in America, it just makes sense that you would see some affinity.
Of course.
All right.
Of course. And then, people always talking about, if we take it through the Pan-African lens,
yes,
or the Black Power lens,
and
when
we
talk
can.
about, when we talk about who what's the biggest secret, it's you, black man. You the one that's buried in the North Gate. You the one that been knocked down, hit over the head, made dumb, deaf, and blind.
Come on, brother.
You gave the secret up when they came to
Come on.
study.
Yeah.
When they came to
you on
study,
the high road.
Yeah.
yeah. When they came to study in
Mark
Greece,
Scarby talked about this all the time.
yeah, you study about, you know, when they came to Greek to study at your, you know, I mean, when they came to Kemet to study at your feet, the Greeks,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You gave them the
brother-
word.
Pardon me, the brother Lord Mayor said, what's the last book?
Oh, go ahead. Well, don't forget this one.
What he
Well,
showed
Reef
in the
recommended
last
this
book.
too.
Sure did. Put that one up. Oh, you bugging. But anyway, all right.
Well, hey, and that's what, and the Royal Ark to me is one of my favorites. I stayed there the longest. So I went Yorkside, and I went through each. You know, I went through the sands. I went to the burning sands. So I stayed there the longest. But the Royal Ark to me was my pleasure. One of the most blessings things, because I am a warrior, and I understand my calling. The one thing I want to add to all this is that if you're not contacting the show, and this is just a suggestion, you can contact us individually, and I don't know how Ron wants to work that out and do whatever you want to do, but if you're not asking questions, I'm confused about what you're learning.
Yes, that's a fact.
If you're not asking questions, I'm confused about what you're learning and what you're listening to. Because even I reached out to Brother Sharif, and there's times I said, man, I am so blessed to be a part with you on this show. And it's just it's an honor. And it's an honor to be on the show with all of you. But if you're not asking questions, I'm confused how you're moving forward. Because for me, I'm a teacher. I want you to move forward. If you're just listening and then scraping by, I don't need you. I need you to be the educated Negro so you can release that imprisonment. So you can start to become freedom.
That's it.
Now, real quick, to get in contact, Dr. Paul Dyer, you could, put your email out there if you want people to reach you.
No, because you got my number. They can always contact the show, and you can always hit me up. That's easier. Okay. It's so much easier.
All right, so
Brother Ron, really quick, I wanted to read something for the audience, but also too, it's relative. Trust me, it's relative to what we're talking about. It's something called religious controversy. Is in Moorish literature called religious controversy. But Brother Mikey, Brother Ron, and the good doctor, you're gonna hear some things in it that are really interesting. And it's very short. It says religious controversy. In this age, there's still much religious controversy as to the right thing. Big and powerful ministers have come to the conclusion that something is wrong. Some say it's the 10 Commandments. Others say it's a lack of sincerity in the purpose of the churches. Still others think it is all worthless and not fit for the time it takes to attend them. However, or whatever their final decision may be, it is certain that they will make a change or rather try to make one. The fact of the matter is that they've always had only a reflection of the truth and not the real thing. Like one who holds up to the sun a mirror and casts a few of its diverted rays in a different direction. So have they done with the truth that is supposed to have come from the east. There are few people who know what the truth is about man, and that few know that it is foolish to try to impart it to the ignorant. Although the ignorant has finished college, he is a fool right on, being trained to jump through a hoop. The longer he stays in the schools, the better he can jump, and the more he defends his jumping. From the east comes all light, but though the sun is hanging at high noon, the blind cannot see. The same as the Islamic creed from the East was brought to the Asiatics of America by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and offered to those who were sick at heart, tried for many years, yet they are blind and cannot see the light. Nor is the Prophet trying to put new wine in old wineskins, for he knows that it will burst them. Still, he has the remedy for the nations, the remedy brought by Jesus, Muhammad, Confucius, and all other prophets, which remedy is truth. The nations do not want the truth that is too stern, but until they accept it and find out where it is, there will continue to be religious controversy.
Sounds Scottish to me. But anyway.
on that note, before we cut out, I just want to put it out there. The email is nyptalkshow@gmail.com. nyptalkshow@gmail.com. If you want to reach me, Mikey Fever, brother Sharif, Dr. Paul Dyer, you can reach out to that email, and I'll get you connected. There's one person I didn't answer, and pardon me, brother, if you're watching, but I will get back to you. You're the only person I didn't answer, so whoever you are, I'm talking to you. You're the only person I didn't answer, but I will get back to you. I do get back to people. Just keep in mind I'm busy, so it's a lot. So on that note, thank you guys for coming out this evening.
Hey, Ron Brown.
Yep.
I want to add one thing.
Okay.
I want to add one thing real quick. And sometimes people don't understand value. And I don't understand how that works, and I could give a shit. But me personally, and I know Sharif and everybody's time is worth something.
Right.
I belong to an international think tank. Once a month, twice a month, I get on an international think tank that we talk about ideas of what people are thinking. Now, me being a neuroscientist, I get all that data and thinking and proselytizing of what people could and would and should and don't do. And I get paid $5,000 just in a think tank. What Mr. Ron Brown and the New York Perspectives offering you is our time to say, we're not looking at it as a monetary value. We're looking at it as a spiritual educational value.
Yeah.
And what hurts me, and it has always hurt me, is that people don't see value because something's being shown to them. Because if Mr. Brown in the New York Perspective, wanted to offer you this as a, pay to watch, I hate to tell you, you probably couldn't afford it. Not with Sharif's knowledge. I'm telling you now. Not with Sharif's knowledge, you could not afford it. You cannot afford it. You cannot be like, well, let me get it bit by bit. I'm sorry, you'd be left out.
That's a fact.
And what we are trying to do is to give ourselves to educate you so you'll be able to.
Yes, sir.
And for you to not take advantage of that, but you'll take advantage of some other person selling you something for one-time offer, it bothers me. I'm done. I'm off my soapbox.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for real, man.
That was well said. I'm glad you said that. Man,
beautiful.
Thank you for coming out this evening. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for contributing to the podcast, the brand, because the podcast and brand was built on sincerity, pureness, and we'll continue to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, brothers, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes.